Hello, my name is Karen for those of you who don't know, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back to my channel. I haven't done that intro in a while, but let's jump right into the video, shall we? So the first piece of advice that I would give to my younger self, it would be to do art for you and nobody else. Even though when I was younger, I absolutely loved doing art for myself and I drew whatever I wanted and I had a lot of fun with it. I also put a lot of pressure on myself to draw to make other people happy. I was known as the artist of the class because everyone would come to me and ask me to draw this and that, and I'd be like, oh okay, just give me some time, and I draw everyone's stuff for free, and then I'd never have time to draw stuff for myself. And then my main reason for drawing became drawing for other people, and then I just didn't enjoy it as much anymore. I remember being super upset at other people because people kept asking me to draw stuff for them, and I was like, no, I don't. I was like, who do you think I am? I don't always have time to do this kind of stuff for other people. I have my own stuff to do too. And then people would be like, oh geez, what's wrong with her? And it was because I kept overexerting myself and drawing for other people, and I never drew what I wanted. Or at least I didn't do it enough. And the number one thing that was driving me to do all this was just because I liked seeing other people smile when I gave them their drawings. After a while, I realized that it's important to make myself happy too, It's important to see myself smile after I draw something. And ultimately, art is about expressing yourself. Art is for you. So do art for yourself and no one else. The second piece of advice that I would give to my younger self is to not compare yourself to other artists. I know in this day and age it's super difficult, especially if you're an Instagram artist or a YouTube artist and you're constantly keeping up with other artists and seeing what they're up to and what they're creating. It's so difficult to not be like, ugh, why can't I be as good as them? Or they just started and they're already super talented. Why can't I do that? Why can't my hands create like they do? And I'm in that position constantly, and to this day I'm honestly still struggling with not comparing myself to other artists, but I have gotten a lot better, and trust me when I say it doesn't benefit you at all comparing yourself to other artists. You have to remind yourselves that everyone is on their own path and not everyone is the same. Some people just understand how to put their thoughts on paper and their ideas onto paper, And everyone's journey is different, right? So you can't compare yourself to someone that has been putting in hours and hours into their art every single day. And I'm not saying that you should feel ashamed if you're not putting enough hours, but I'm just saying you shouldn't compare yourself to someone else's journey, especially when you don't know what they're going through, you don't know what it took them to get to where they are. And honestly, one day you'll be exactly where your favorite artists are if you keep going at it, if you keep practicing, if you keep doing your best to learn and to grow. Don't compare yourself to other artists.
You are my sunshine on a rainy day. You are the one.
Stop setting such high expectations for yourself. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, if I don't set high expectations for myself, how do you expect me to grow and do better? Well, personally, I believe that there's a big difference between setting expectations that are very unrealistic and very high for no reason, and pushing yourself to do better and pushing yourself to go out of your comfort zone. I think it's amazing to set goals for yourself and do everything you can to achieve them, but I also think it's important to not beat yourself up when you don't meet those goals. When you start to set such high expectations for yourself, you're really just setting yourself up for failure, because for example, if you're a beginner and you're still learning and you're still new to everything that's art related, you shouldn't set such high expectations for yourself because you're still new and you're still learning, right? When you're a beginner, the only thing you should be focusing on is trying to learn as much as possible, seeing what knowledge you can gain so that you can kind of formulate your own ideas and seeing what you can create. And it's not about being the best. It's not about becoming this professional artist right away. When you start to set super high expectations for yourself right off the bat and you don't meet them, you're gonna fall off real quick and you're gonna beat yourself up for it. You're not gonna develop a healthy process of creating art. You're just gonna keep getting in that vicious cycle, that loop of constant negativity, because you're expecting too much of yourself right away. And also, there's nothing wrong with being a beginner. If anything, you have all the advantages to grow and become so much better.
Takes my breath away. In the vast skies of love, I'm free.
My next advice would be to draw what makes you happy. And this kind of just goes hand in hand with the first tip. I would say this piece of advice is specifically more to social media type artists. I noticed that a lot of artists that I follow, they opened up about their stories about how they draw a lot of stuff to get views, and they draw a lot of stuff to get likes and comments and shares, but they don't actually enjoy what they're drawing. They just do it because they need that attention, right? They need that exposure. Every single artist that I read about or heard about, they've all said that it's not worth it to just draw for attention. It's not worth it to draw for all those likes and those comments and those views. It's a lot more worthwhile to draw stuff that really makes you happy and stuff that you're really passionate about, because in the long run, that's going to keep you going. If you're constantly drawing stuff that you really want to, eventually people are going to see that. People are going to see how passionate you are about these things, and they're gonna tune in. They're gonna be passionate about you being passionate, you know? Because at the end of the day, personally, I'd rather have an audience that genuinely loves my art because it's something I'm passionate about and it's not something that I'm forcing onto my audience. I'd rather have a smaller audience that really cares about my art no matter what the content is than a huge audience of people that are constantly asking for this one specific thing that I'm not happy about drawing.
As long as you're here with me.
Over my many years of drawing and all of my experiences, I think the number one thing that I've learned is that it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to relax, even if it's for a week to a month, even if it's a couple months or even a year if you really need it. As a creative, I know what it feels like to work yourself to the point of burnout because you need to get that content out there, you need to get that exposure, you need to do this and that because you really want it to be your career, right? And you really want to do well, you want to keep improving, but there's really no point in all that if you're working yourself to death and you're not getting anything out of it. And you're just going to be, again, in this constant cycle of not being happy and not being able to execute your ideas properly because you're so tired and you're not mentally well and you're not well rested. So I think it's really important to take breaks when you need to, even if it's periodically throughout the day. And like I said previously, even if it's for a week or a month or a couple months, you just gotta do whatever you need to charge up so that you can do better. Like, I recently took a break from art. I don't know if you guys have probably noticed, maybe, I don't know, but I haven't posted in the last 2 weeks, and that's mostly because I've been working. Like, I have a job now, I actually have a life now, but yeah, I've just been really tired, and altogether I've been taking a break from art as well. But because I felt a lot better after taking my break, I was able to slowly work myself back up. So here I am, and I'm creating again. And I'm a lot happier with the outcome of my art now because I was able to take a break and recharge. And the last piece of art advice that I would give to my younger self, you guys probably know what I'm gonna say. This is the most annoying advice anyone ever gives, and please don't click off. I have an explanation for this one. The advice that I would give would be to practice. But wait, not only is it important to keep practicing your craft, it's also important to draw stuff that you're uncomfortable with or unfamiliar with. For example, I'm really uncomfortable drawing cars and backgrounds because they're just really difficult for me, and you know, I can do it, but it's not something that I really go out of my way to do because I'm not used to it, and it's a lot easier for me to draw a face than to come up with a really creative background. But I've learned that the skills that you can gain from drawing stuff that you're unfamiliar with or uncomfortable with is amazing. Like, you can gain so many skills from doing so because you kind of have to force your brain to problem solve. Basically, you have to think, okay, I don't know how to draw this part, what can I do to make it easier for myself? And that skill right there that you gain, you can bring that over to the stuff that you are comfortable with drawing, and you can build your art style and your skills and do even better. And that's why in art classes, you usually, when you're building a portfolio, your teachers try to make you do a lot of mediums, right? They try to make you do all these different types of art styles and all these different types of perspectives and different terminologies and all that stuff. It's because they want you to build your skills. They want you to adapt from different mediums. See what you can bring from this medium to this medium. Learning all these different mediums and doing all these different things can really help you expand your creative field, and it will definitely help you in the long run. So yeah. Those are the things that I would tell to my younger self to improve my art and to keep myself going. And I really hope that was helpful for some of you guys. Let me know in the comments if you have any other advice that you would give to your younger selves. And I think it would be helpful if you commented, because other people can read it as well, and then it can create like a discussion and other people can help, you know? Like, anyways, I think that's about it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!
I surrender my heart.